And you can leave with that. It has a better description of how the events occurred last evening. So as a law enforcement agency, we're all breathing a collective sigh of relief that Jamal Dean has been taken into custody without incident. This couldn't have been done without the diligent work of the Sioux City Police Department, U.S. Marshals Service, DEA, ATF, and all the local agencies that were involved from the beginning. So I might as well see if there's any questions that were out there. It might be the best way to probably do this.
Doug, do you know how exactly they came to find him? Was it spot him because of the tattoo? Was it cell phone? Was it computer? Was there anything you can talk about as far as that?
What I can tell you is the information was developed here in Sioux City, and it was relayed to the Department of Public Safety in Texas.
Any idea when they'll be back in Iowa?
I have no idea. They got to go through, I believe, the extradition process. So that could be maybe early next week.
Were there any previous tips coming out of Texas prior to this?
Not that I'm aware of.
Do we know his demeanor or what was going on when he was caught, how he was acting?
All I know is that he was arrested without incident. And again, there were several other people in the vehicle. I believe there was a female in the vehicle, some small children, when they were stopped.
Is anyone going to receive a reward for doing this?
At this time, I couldn't tell you at this time. We have to go through all the information, but it's my understanding that the information was developed by law enforcement.
The fact that he got as far south as he did, obviously there were people helping him. Will the investigation continue as far as maybe someone being charged with aiding and abetting, something like that?
What I can tell you is that now now that he's been captured, the investigation is not over with. So it will continue, and I can assure you that anybody was caught aiding and abetting him in his escapes from Sioux City and possibly this country, it's our hopes they'll be prosecuted also.
What can you tell us about the people that were in the car with them? Who or with him? Who were they, and are they in custody?
I don't know if they're in custody, and I don't know the relationship.
Are these the same kids that were taken here in Sioux City?
I don't believe so. I don't know for sure. I couldn't verify that for you.
Is it an assumption that he was trying to get to Mexico? Is that what?
The way things appear, that's the direction of travel was from Rivera, which is north of Brownsville. They were southbound.
Do you guys have a path of travel? How long he had been on the road and what path they took?
No. What I do know is that we don't believe he left Sioux City immediately, that he was still in the area for a period of time before heading south.
Do we mention this could be the same Highway 77 that's from up here?
You're going to have to check that one out, but
Okay.
I believe 77 runs the full length of the country, or pretty much all of it.
Was your reaction from what you guys were doing here, were you surprised he got as far as he did, or was that always an option? I mean, when you heard Texas, were you surprised?
Not really. I mean, that is always an option for somebody to escape to the south and see if they can get across the border. But we didn't give up our efforts here either because we had a lot of information. The community was just great in helping us out with tips. It's just amazing that the community could come together like it has, not just with information, but also the support that they provided Kevin McCormick and his family, the Sioux City Police Department, throughout this whole ordeal.
Did you find there was a lot of misinformation being thrown out there at you guys too that made it a little more difficult, or was it pretty much all the tips you're getting were pretty much?
I don't know if it's intentionally misinformation, but you know, we got to follow up on everything that we hear, whether we have to go back over what we've already went over. We're not going to take that chance. So it was just phenomenal, the information that we were receiving.
Any idea when it'll be tried? County court, federal court?
I'm assuming it might be federal court, but I don't. That's where all the well, I guess I can't tell you for sure. I don't believe it's going to. I'm guessing it's going to be federal, but unless you know, Chad, for sure. At this point, it might be a little tough to tell you, but I'm assuming it's going to be federal.
Well, there possibly some federal charges. I didn't see the attempted murder warrant, but would it have been a state?
That was a state warrant to get it into NCIC, but that doesn't mean that the feds couldn't pick it up and take it.
Is it a different charge than attempted murder against an officer? Is that a different charge?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Can you
I
tell
think it's the same charge.
Does Jamal Dean, do you believe Jamal Dean had any contacts in Mexico? Or the people he was with had any contacts in Mexico?
I
Specifically?
can't verify any of that, just from the surface. I think that his contacts could have probably got him into Mexico without much trouble, so.
Would you estimate how many hours, man hours, were put in by the PD over this last week to get this accomplished?
Well, we've worked diligently, obviously, from when the incident occurred, and we'll still continue to work. But you know, we've kind of backed down a little bit, took a collective, you know, sigh of relief amongst all of us, and we can see if we can get back to some norm around here.
Does his specific gang have a presence in Mexico? Or
I don't know if it does or not.
I've talked to you before about, you know, what it's like to try and get suspects out of Mexico. It sounds like from what you said that he was pretty close. Had he gotten into Mexico, what would it have been like to try and find him once he got down there?
I know that we've been successful in bringing people back, so it's not out of the ordinary that Mexican authorities do cooperate. I don't believe that this individual was a Mexican national, which makes things a little tougher to get people back into the United States from Mexico, but I think that with the help of the Mexican authorities, I don't really believe there would be much of a problem if he was apprehended. Okay?
I think we're good.
And
Good.
do you have any more details about how it all went down when they picked him up? If, you know, you just said it was without incident, but do you have any more details about it?
The only
or-
thing I know was a traffic stop. We had some information of a vehicle that he might have been operating or riding in, and they were able to do their job down south, so.
Okay.
So was it just a traffic stop for like any violation?
Nope,
or anything?
it
Or
was,
just-
we were looking for a vehicle.
oh,
The driver of the vehicle, Esteban Hernandez Jr. of Sioux City, is that anyone you're familiar with, any affiliation with gangs or any other priors that you know of?
At this time, I couldn't tell you if they were or not.
Do you know if he was arrested at gunpoint? You know, I'm wondering, you know, traffic stop versus a felony stop.
I'm assuming it probably was.
Okay. All right.